Going to put you some hair and dye it.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is 6 o'clock. Time to begin our March 7th meeting. At this time, we'll call ourselves to order. And item one on the agenda first is a student art showcase participant for 2017. Let me say to the parents and grandparents or whoever may be here with the arts, all of you for that concern, welcome. We're certainly glad to have a nice crowd here tonight. And a special welcome to the mothers and the fathers of the art students. So at this time, I'll turn it over to Brian.
All right, Mayor, Council, once again, we have the 2017 Student Art Showcase participants here tonight. We have a total of 15 artworks that are hanging in the hall from our Monroe schools. This Student Art Showcase is a citywide showcase for elementary, middle, and high school students designed to encourage and promote an interest in fine art. So we have hopefully a few famous artists that will be growing up here in Monroe and get famous in the future. The art's displayed for 1 year in City Hall, and it's able to be viewed during business hours. So I'll get started. I will ask when I call the name of the student that they stand and be recognized by council. Keisha Duncan from Benton Heights Elementary has this piece hanging in the hall.
Where is it?
I know Keisha's here, right there. Okay. And then we have Unique Nivens, also from Benton Heights. Unique, all right.
Why don't you say you had 15?
There's 15. We have 10 here tonight.
Well, I hate to interrupt you, but what I'd like to do for those young folks to line up here sewing all for you.
When I call you, just
If you will, please. I want to be sure to get good recognition.
All right. We want everyone to see you.
I'm gonna ask you to come over here. That's where I went to school.
I did too.
Right.
Y'all gonna have to split up then.
Nice to see you.
Hopefully everyone will recognize you when you're famous. Olivia Pepin. And Olivia's from Central Academy. And we have Jessica Rubio, also of Central Academy. And then we have Emerson Carter of Union Academy. Hannah Dyes from Union Academy. Sadie Kennedy from Union Academy. And Sarah Padilla from Union Academy. And Walter Bickett Elementary, we have Victoria Consecow. Is that how you say that? Okay. And Layla Ponce. And those are our 10 students we have here with us tonight.
I'd just like to say to the students, thank you, and to the parents for letting us hang your art in our city hall. It beautifies our hallway down through there. I and some others was looking at it as we came up and talking about how pretty we were. If you folks haven't saw these young students' artwork out there in the hall, I can promise you, you'll be impressed if you go out there and look at it. It's really, really good. So thank you all for allowing us to put it in City Hall. It does make our hall look better. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And y'all are free to leave. Wouldn't it be nice to have that talent?
I can't hardly draw a stick, man.
Wow, that's the room.
One of the girls spoke to me, and he was telling me he's getting old. One of those children was hers. She graduated with my from high school. So that's been 16 years. 17.
At this time, we'll go to the consent agenda.
Thank you, Mayor and members of the City Council. The City Council uses the consent agenda to consider items that are non-controversial and routine. The consent agenda is acted upon by one motion and vote of the council. Items may be removed from the consent agenda and placed on the regular agenda at the request of a council member or citizen with the consent of council. The consent agenda contains the following items. Item number 2 is for the purpose of authorizing the tax collector to advertise the unpaid real estate taxes pursuant to North Carolina General Statute 105-369. The Monroe tax collector reports the total amount of unpaid taxes for the current fiscal year as of February 13th is $784,815. Item 3 under consent is for the purpose of adopting the contract amendment that corrects the language of the incentive contract with O'Neill Digital Solutions. The items were inadvertently reversed and are not representative of the action adopted by council. Secondly, this action is to make the annual adjustment to the grant factor for O'Neill's incentive adjusted to 5.52% for real property and 4.69% for personal property as prescribed in the incentive award. Item 4 is for the purpose of accepting the proposed contract with Martin, Starnes and Associates, CPAs, for audit services for the city for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2017 at a cost of $74,275. Item 5 is for the purpose of awarding the Bearskin Creek Greenway project to Eaglewood, Inc. in the amount of $1,397,633, and it's subject to final concurrence by the North Carolina Department of Transportation. Along with a contingency amount of $140,000 is requested to cover possible change orders during the course of the work. Item 6 is for the purpose of adopting the budget amendment to provide funding for the utility fee grant program. Item 7 is for the purpose of calling 2 public hearings to be held April 4th, 2017. The first involves a zoning map amendment request for property located at 3016 Old Charlotte Highway from general business to conditional district Legends. The second call for public hearing is for zoning, also for a zoning map amendment request and zoning text amendment request to reserved of Unified Development Ordinance to establish Concord Avenue Overlay District. Item 8 is for the purpose of adopting the capital project budget ordinance to cover the costs associated with water main relocation. This work complements the widening of the road work known as Shining Light Church Road. The road project addresses traffic concerns heard from Shining Light Baptist Church as well as their neighbors, the Arnold Helms family, and related to increased traffic volume. Item 9 is our minutes and reports. 9A is disbursement of fiscal year 2016 through 17 City Council discretionary funds. There were 4 sets of disbursements by the governing body this period. The first, Mayor Kilgore had three sets of disbursements. First was to Union County Youth NAACP Black History Celebration in the amount of $25, Central Academy of Technology and Arts in the amount of $500, and Council on Aging in Union County in the amount of $300. Mayor Pro Tem Duncan had 2 disbursements, the first of which was to Dr. Ella Hood Celebration in the amount of $200 and the North Carolina SBI Medicaid Criminal Investigations Unit in the amount of $160. Third, Councilmember Gary Anderson had 1 disbursement to the Union County Community Shelter Supper Bowl of Caring in the amount of $200. And lastly, Councilmember Saluda Anthony had four sets of disbursements, first of which the Rotary Club of Monroe for membership in the amount of $295, A Few Good Men in the amount of $100, and Union County Youth NAACP Black History Celebration in the amount of $50, and Delta Sigma Theta Sorority in the amount of $150. Item 9B is the financial report for January 2017. And as a summary, the unassigned general fund balance is $3,188,000 and change as of February 7th. The total fund balance remains at a little more than $29 million. There are 12 sets of minutes, lettered 9C through L. 9M is summary of contracts awarded, change orders approved, and city manager's settlement of claims. There were 35 contracts for the period totaling $298,000 in change, and there were no claims settled for this period. Item 10 is for the purpose of authorizing execution of the municipal agreement for crossing safety project at Seacrest Avenue, and to approve the budget ordinance to cover the city's share of those costs. The estimated project costs are $250,000, with the city being responsible for 10%, or $25,000. And our partner will be the North Carolina Department of Transportation on this project. Item 11 involves 3 sets of ordinance amendments. The first is for the purpose of approving the ordinance that amends Schedule I, speed limits, to correctly reflect the posted times for reduced speed limits in school zones, and to add 2 zones on Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard. The action includes 7 sets of streets. The second set of code amendments is for the purpose of approving the posting of both sets of John Moore Road, with parking prohibited at all times from Old Charlotte Highway to 250 feet east of Old Charlotte Highway. And the third is for the purpose of adopting an ordinance to formally accept the 22nd supplement to the City of Monroe Code of Ordinances. Item 12 is for the purpose of adopting the resolution recognizing Joseph Albert Plyler's service to the citizens of Monroe and our police department, to set the price of his service sidearm at 1 cent, finding that Lieutenant Joe Plyler is eligible to own, possess, or receive a service sidearm, and awarding him his service sidearm at the cost of 1 cent, which will be presented to Lieutenant Plyler at a later date. Item 13 is for the purpose of approving the tax releases for the month of January 2017 in the amount of $6,339 and change. Mayor and members of the City Council, this concludes my synopsis of items placed on the consent agenda for your action.
Okay.
Move that we accept them.
I have a motion, have a second.
Second.
Any discussions? Hearing none, all in favor?
Uh-huh.
Okay, consent agenda passed. We'll go into regular agenda, public hearing on the zoning map amendment for property located off Wesley Hill Trail. Item 14, Lisa, please.
Okay. Good evening, Lisa Stywinner, Planning Director with the City of Monroe. This is a zoning map amendment request for conditional district Fieldstone Phase 2 subdivision. Applicant U.S. Developments is requesting to table the proposed zoning map amendment request for conditional district Fieldstone Phase 2 for 60 days or until the May 2nd City Council meeting. After discussing the proposed project with elected officials, the applicant has decided to schedule a meeting with the surrounding community to review the plans and go over the proposed revision to restrict the development to 55 and older. Applicant's not able to meet with the community until the end of the month, therefore is requesting to table the project for 60 days until the May 2nd meeting.
I move we table the project to May the 2nd.
And second.
Before you, would you be willing to amend that to include without further advertising, so we don't need to do another
Without
advertising?
further on.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. I have a motion, I have a second. All in favor?
I have one question. Are they here?
I don't believe so.
Let me ask one. I'm sorry, go ahead. I got a question.
Okay, please make it clear that the next time they do need to go ahead and proceed with this. We've had residents twice now that's come up here to hear this, and then they just waited until now to do that. So make sure that this will be on the agenda for action at the next time.
That was going to be my question. I have, I believe these folks is from the Stony Point. Y'all here for this hearing. I was thinking that was right, and I was going to say the same thing. Yeah, this is set for May, and it'll be heard in May. We're going to hear it one way or other in May. Is my
Sorry you had to
understanding.
come up here.
I had almost forgotten about it, and I was going to do something else, and I saw, I went, oh, the meeting. And,
Well, they're supposed to be having.
parked the car
they're supposed to have or try to have or get with the neighborhood or whatever. But I know you folks has been up here, you was here last time, I know, and I was fixing to say the same thing she said, so I'm glad she said it, but we're gonna have it in May. The next meeting, if you come to, we'll have a hearing.
Thank you, because I thought at the time it was canceled the first time.
I know.
thought, this is just a ploy because they know there were 25 people at a meeting in a house.
Right.
In our little neighborhood. And, they'll wait until the next time and maybe we'll only get 10, and the next time we'll only get 5.
It's gonna be heard in May, so you be here in May.
Available in May, that's the problem,
Okay, well,
traveling.
thank you.
Well, sorry you had to make a trip. Had I known, I would have certainly seen you, we've got a call, but I didn't know. But anyway, we're gonna have the hearing in May.
And the applicant has been made fully aware that it's council's decision whether to table the project or go forward with the presentation.
Let's table to May, and come May, we're gonna have a hearing.
You need a vote on that motion.
And it's May what, one more time?
Second.
May 2nd,
Give
ma'am.
it a minute.
Yeah, we
May
didn't.
Moving a second, but no vote.
I have a,
Okay, well,
I have a motion and a second. All in favor? Okay. Wait. Anything else? Okay, no further? All right, thank you, Lisa. Item 15, consideration of purchase of 75 acres in Monroe Corporate Center. Chris Patay.
Thank you, sir. Mayor, Council Manager Faison, Economic Development is asking council to consider the purchase of 75 acres within the Monroe Corporate Center for economic development purposes. Staff has negotiated a purchase price of $4,462,500, or $59,500 per acre for the property. You can see here the property just to locate it for you. Bona USA, American Wick Drain, Airport Road, going down O'Neill Digital where former Turbo Mecca was, and Scott Safety with Monroe Corporate Center, or the Corporate Center Drive there. Economic Development has been working with Project UFO, or Consolidated Metco, to expand their presence in Monroe, and the company is considering an expansion on this site, and is one of the reasons that we're looking to purchase it. The company would consider a 250,000 square foot facility with an anticipated investment of roughly $45 million and the creation of 80 additional jobs to their current employee base here in Union County at 300 jobs. The expansion and future option, there's a future option of land that would consume roughly 40 acres, which you see here and here. We'll talk about in the next public hearing, with the city retaining the balance of that at 35 acres. We're asking that City Council approve the purchase sale agreement to with Goldmine Generations 2 LLC, adopt a resolution for the purchase of this land, and approve a budget amendment of $4,462,500 from the electric fund balance, and authorize the city manager to sign all documents associated with the purchase.
Now, my understanding of this, we buy this, a portion is gonna be sold off to their company, which we recoup that money, and the other portion will be for another corporation.
That's exactly right.
And we'll break out even with hopefully 1 or 2 or 3 corporations.
Exactly.
Sounds good. Okay. Any questions, council, for Chris? Hearing none, do I have a motion?
Actually, Mayor, this is,
You what? Yeah, this is a public hearing. You're
Yes,
right
sir.
about that. We need to do
they
that
just,
too.
that's all you need to do.
Okay, any questions? Chris? Thank you, Chris.
Yes, sir.
This is a public hearing. Anyone here who'd like to speak in favor? Anyone who'd like to speak in opposition? Hearing none, we'll close the public hearing and take action.
Move to approve the request.
second.
Have a motion, a second, all in favor? Any opposed? Hearing none, that'll pass. Thank you, Chris. Item 16, consideration of 20.36 acres in Monroe Corporate Center.
Thank you, Mayor, Council. Again, Manager Faison. Economic Development is asking you to consider the sale of 20.36 acres, which is this location here.
in the Monroe Corporate Center and an option on an additional 19.5 acres here for Project UFO or Consolidated Medco. Consolidated Medco, again, has been in Monroe since the mid-1960s and is a significant industry in our community, again, employing approximately 300 persons. The company is considering an expansion on the 20.36 acres within the corporate center, and the project, again, would consist of a 250,000 square foot facility, anticipated investment around $45 million, and the creation of 80 additional jobs in our community. They're also asking for an option, as we discussed on the 19.5, to handle future growth that they may, hopefully will continue to grow and do well, and so they don't want to be landlocked, so that's the reason we're trying to give them that option. The staff has negotiated a sales price of $1,221,600 for the 20.36 acres, and that's roughly $60,000 per acre. The property will be purchased by a subsidiary of the Keith Corporation. Under that subsidiary, they will then build and lease to Consolidated Medco their facility. Then ConMet is seeking an option directly to them, not through the Keith Corporation, for the 19.5 acres. And again, that option will have the land at $60,000 per acre, or the market price at the time that they exercise that option, whichever number is higher. And then the term for that option is 5 years. The one quick update, we were looking to extend the public sewer line to service all of this acreage, as the city is the developer for the overall park. And we were looking for grant funds to achieve that. Those grant funds are no longer available, so the city is looking to install that line. Consolidated Medco will pay for their portion of that site, which is roughly, to break it down, about 60% of the site, and the remaining 40% Monroe would maintain the cost of that, and then we would apply that cost to the remaining 35 acres. So it's roughly we're basically anticipating the price to be at $275,000. So the 60% or a max up to $165,000 would be borne by ConMet or the developer for ConMet in this project, and the remaining funding, the 40% of that $275,000, the city would hold and then get reimbursed as we sell this property here.
So they buying the 19.5,
They're buying the
buying 19 and wanting to,
no, they're going to buy the 20.36.
buying the 23 and
then-
getting the option on the 19.
Correct.
And gonna pay for their portion of the line.
Correct.
How many jobs will that bring?
Again, 80 jobs.
80 jobs.
And again, $45 million of tax base. And then I believe the water and sewer, water resources will bring that project to you at the April 4th meeting
Okay.
regarding that.
Okay, any questions, Chris?
Also, sorry to interrupt, Mayor.
That's all right, go ahead.
Again, to do this project, this is involved a lot of your city departments, and we want to express our appreciation to everybody. But I think one stood out above all, which was Ashley Duncan, who got beat up a lot through this process of redoing documents over and over and over. So between Majib and Ashley, they've been fantastic for us, but Ashley, by far, we have worn her out on this project. So special, want to make public appreciation of her. And then finally, we're asking council to approve tonight the purchase sale agreement to the Keith Corporation, the subsidiary. Approve the option agreement with ConMet as described, adopt a resolution for the sale and the option of the land, approve a budget amendment of $1,221,600 to be returned to the electric fund, the proceeds of the sale to go back to the electric fund, and then authorize the city manager to sign all the documents associated with the sale.
So make that motion. Oh, we got public hearing.
Any questions of Chris?
I'm gonna let Mike
All right.
get ahead.
Thank you, Chris.
Yes, sir.
This is a public hearing. Anyone here who'd like to speak in favor? Anyone who'd like to speak in opposition? Hearing none, we'll close the public hearing and take action.
Mayor, I'm gonna make that motion, but also want to thank the gentlemen that are here for having the confidence to continue to grow in our area, and we appreciate it very much.
Absolutely.
Second.
We appreciate you. Have a motion and a second. All in favor? Any opposed? Hearing none, that passes. Thank you, gentlemen. Item 17, construction of a hangar and subsequent lease to Airwood Aviation LLC. Mr. Peter?
Good evening, Mayor, Council. Peter Savalas here, Airport Manager. I'm here to bring you an initiative. Airwood is our largest flight school at the airport with currently 18 aircraft under their management, over 1,000 students, and conducting 15 to 32 flights per day. Airwood Aviation is expanding their flight training line of business by adding the Cirrus Pilot Center that identifies them as the exclusive Cirrus aircraft dealer in the Charlotte metropolitan area. Overview the aircraft that they are currently working with. To date, Airwood has sold 6 new aircraft to returning and new customers. 4 of those are the single-engine piston aircraft, the SR-722 Tango, and average price of those aircraft are $800,000. There are 2 others that are for sale right now, or they're getting ready to sell, and those are the new Vision Jets that have just been certified this past fall by the FAA, and their value is at $2.8 million. The sales of these 6 Cirrus aircraft meet the expectations, the first year's expectations of what Airwood had negotiated with Cirrus Aircraft, which is the manufacturer. Airwood is also managing 4 new Cirrus aircraft that have currently been moved to be based at the airport, and also a King Air 200. And for those that aren't familiar, a King Air is a large turboprop aircraft seating 8 to 10 passengers. This new partnership is important to the airport because it will increase the tax base and fuel sales at the airport and lease revenue. But there's also a challenge, as the airport currently is at 100% capacity of the hangar storage. Airwood is interested in need of a hangar and is willing to sign a long-term lease. Their vision would be is to have a 10,000 square foot hangar, such as the one depicted in this diagram, so they could park their aircraft and also have a place where they can, what they say, take delivery of the aircraft for the customers. These high-end aircraft are expected to be stored indoor because of their values. So, and with the current demand actually, right now as it stands, as this continues on, Airwood forecasts us to probably even have another hangar, to need another hangar to be able to operate out of by the end of the year. So what I'm asking for you tonight is the opportunity to request the approval, first of all, for Talbot and Bright, our airport engineer of record, to provide design and bidding services for the new hangar these new hangar plans and specifications. I also would like to repurpose the funds originally authorized in Budget Ordinance 2015-09 for the construction of, that was going to be used for construction of a bulk storage hangar to fund the professional services. And finally, to approve the concept for the city to lease this hangar to Airwood once it's constructed. This lease would be brought to the council for approval at the May meeting. But the basic construct of the meeting, the hangar would be a 30-year lease at $4.25 a square foot per year, which translates to $42,500 a year. Each aircraft valued at $800,000 would bring a tax value of approximately $4,680. The jet would bring in approximately $16,380 a jet tax value a year.
Now, Peter, that's per plane.
Per plane, that is per plane, yes. Those values that I just gave. So.
Any questions? How many have they sold, Peter?
They have sold right now 6 new aircraft.
They've sold 6 new aircraft.
Mm-hmm. To both new customers and some of our existing base customers. So they've swapped out some of the airplanes that we have currently based out with newer Cirrus aircraft, which has increased the tax value, or tax base to the airport.
Okay, any questions?
That's a real good deal for the city. This is a sharp young guy. I think he's going to do extremely well.
Okay, how many did you say, how many they had in the school, did you say?
Well, the school is a separate entity part. They have 18 total aircraft built in there within that school, but those are smaller flight training aircraft, Cessna 150s, 172s, something.
I thought you said how many students they had.
Oh, they have over 1,000 students in their flight training program. And this is a, so to speak, a layered operation because they've got the basic flight line or flight training, but the Cirrus will be an additional line of business that this school will offer and train specifically, sell the airplane, train the pilots in their new airplanes, and also, in certain instances, even manage the airplanes for them. That way, thereby keeping the airplanes here.
Well, they got 1,000 people in flight school.
Yes, sir, in total.
This particular plane is the only one that has a parachute. So if you have trouble in air, then you can pull a parachute and come down.
I know of there's maybe more than one person in this county, I might say family or person or whatever, that owned a plane that actually had to use the chute, and some of those folks may know who I'm talking about. I'm not gonna call any names.
McGee Corp.
Well, I'm not gonna put into any name, but I
Rick Mason.
I think I'm right in saying that it was over somewhere in Virginia, going into DC. I believe that's correct. Anyway, and it was dark, like, anyhow, it was still dark. And they had to pull the chute, didn't know where it was gonna go, and landed perfectly in a pasture right near the side of a road. So, I mean, how lucky can you be? But anyhow, I'm familiar with those parachutes. I've talked to the gentleman that did it, and it's very important. But anyway, any more questions for Peter? Hearing none, thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Have a motion, have a second.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Any opposed? Hearing none, thank you, Peter.
Thank you, council.
Item 18, recommendation of appointments and reappointments to commission.
Yes, Mayor and fellow council members, the Citizens Appointment Committee met on March 6, 2017, and wishes to ask for the following appointments to two boards. The Board of Adjustment to appoint Richard Ali to a full term. That would begin, of course, this year and run through 12/31/2019. And appoint Richard Yurchak as a full-term member to the Planning Board. That also that would be a 4-year appointment through 12/31/2021.
Okay, any questions? Have a motion?
I move that we accept the recommendations.
We have a motion, I have a second.
Second.
Any other questions? Hearing none, all in favor? Any opposed? Hearing none, that'll pass.
Mayor,
Yes,
you got a couple of scouts that you might want to recognize and get their name.
absolutely. We certainly do want to recognize them. Do you have any information?
I just noticed they're in their uniform.
Yes, listen, we're certainly glad to have the scouts here. Would y'all come to the front, please? I'm glad Councilman, I'm glad you noticed that. Would you give us some information? If you would, stand right there behind this podium, right behind, around on the other side. And if you would, tell us your name, your scout troop, and what you're doing, if you will, please.
My name is Christopher. I'm from Troop 1, and we are trying. We just came here to complete our merit badge. I just came here to complete my merit badges for citizenship in the community, like an Eagle required merit badge, and part of the requirements is attending a council meeting.
Well, thank you. We're glad you're here. How long you been in the Scouts?
Since Tiger, first grade.
Okay.
Since recently they got kindergarten scouts now.
Okay. You going for going for Eagle Scout, are you?
Yes.
Well, good. Congratulations. I know you will make it, and thank you for coming. It was always good to have our scouts come to a meeting. Sir, would you give us the same information?
My name's Logan High from Troop 1.
Troop 1, where is that located?
Presbyterian Church right near the library.
Well, good. Well, you going for the Eagle Scout? Great. I know you'll make it. Congratulations. Certainly glad to have you folks here. It's always a pleasure to have our scouts come in to our meetings. It's always good to see you. Leon, I'm glad you noticed them sitting back there. So thank y'all for coming, and come back anytime. At this time, I'd just like to make a short announcement. The superintendent of public schools, Dr. Houlihan, had called me and would request to meet with me and a couple of council members, and that's going to be Thursday. I want to put that out for the information. I don't know what we'll discuss. I assume we'll talk about schools. What else would it be? But I don't know what the topics will be, but I will be meeting with him Thursday afternoon. Okay, item 19, public comment period. I just wanted to say that for the council so everybody would know. Anyone here who would like to address the council? Hearing none, do I have a motion to adjourn? I have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? We adjourn. Thank you very much. Carry.